that your badge number?
Well, I hope it is.
Let's
take a photograph of it, please.
Yeah. Just wondering. I've got to prove it. Obviously, I don't know you from Adam. You could be someone just who's dressed up.
We're not going to do this for fancy dress, are we? Right. As my colleague explained, the reason why we stopped you is because you put the description of somebody acting suspiciously. Right. Now, you've given a legitimate reason why you're here.
Yeah.
Right. But we need to see some ID and some proof that you are here legitimately.
No, I understand that.
Can I see that, please?
I understand that, but on another term, I have actually got human rights.
Is that your vehicle there?
Nope.
Okay. So, what form of identification have you got on you to say you're actually canvassing?
I've got ID on me, but I don't have to legally show it yet because I've not committed a crime.
Right.
Obviously,
we've
had a phone call about like said it's suspicious mail, so we need to ascertain whether you are, you say you are, but I take it you're not going to give us your name.
I get this every week.
Verify. Yeah, but you got to appreciate we get calls from members.
No, I understand that, but I'm doing a job. I'm paying me taxes. I'm earning money. Yeah. I mean, I don't understand. I have not committed a crime.
If you were calling us, surely you'd want us to follow it up, wouldn't you? That's why we've been sent here, to follow it up. We want to be rest assured when we leave here today that you're not up to anything suspicious.
Suspicion based only on a vague phone call, without clear evidence of a crime, is not a lawful reason for detention or an ID check. The officers claim that they needed to confirm the auditor's identity is questionable, especially since the auditor never gave a false name or pretended to be someone else. The auditor was using his legal right to refuse ID because there was no reasonable suspicion of a specific crime. Under UK law, a person does not have to provide identification unless officers can clearly explain the legal grounds for detention, such as suspicion of a criminal offence. In this case, the officers failed to do that. Asking for someone's identity based only on a vague third-party report can lead to profiling and abuse of power, particularly when no crime has been committed.
I understand it in that way, but I'm not...
If your name gives you ID, we could ring SafeStar, say, and confirm...
Well, you can ring SafeStar and you can ask them if, obviously, if you've got canvases in this area and you'll validate who I am. And what's your name? Obviously, I'm not giving it out.
Well, when I ring up SafeStar UK and say, you've got canvases, and they say, yeah...
They know I'm in this office, they know I'm around here. Because we get issued to a certain area and they keep both names of the people.
So where's your ID card?
It is on me, but I don't have to show it. I've not committed a crime.
We're going round in circles here, aren't we, chap?
No, I don't mean human rights, mate. I've not committed a crime. Obviously, you're putting me under alarm and distress now. You both cover it going round me. Obviously, you're trying to say that I have to show my ID.
You're putting me under alarm and distress.
How am I?
It's our ID. We've shown you our ID. So
yeah, but at the end of the day, you're a public servant.
Instead of accepting the auditor's lawful position that he was not required to provide ID without suspicion of a crime, the officers continued pressuring him. They then strangely claimed that he was causing them harassment, alarm, and distress. That is both ironic and concerning. It raises serious questions when trained officers, backed by authority and uniform, claim distress simply because someone calmly exercises their legal rights. When the auditor challenged their demands, one officer responded by saying, "We've shown you our ID." But that misses the point entirely. The issue was never about the officers identifying themselves. The real problem was their repeated attempts to obtain the auditor's personal details without a lawful reason. By portraying themselves as the victims, they completely reversed the situation, even though their own actions were escalating the encounter. Their refusal to accept a lawful refusal to provide ID reflects poor judgment and, arguably, an abuse of authority.
Listen, chap, I may be a public servant, but I'm not your servant.
No, I didn't say you were my servant, did I?
Okay.
I said, but if you're walking around with a police uniform which gives you powers...
Stop going on about YouTube. It's like this public servant, okay? I'm not a servant. I'm a police officer.
Yeah. Okay? Which means, but you serve the public.
I'm a police officer.
Right.
Okay. Police officer. I'm not a servant.
Yeah.
So let's get that quite clear before we start.
Well, there's no need to get angry, is there? Because now you're putting me under alarm and distress. Now I feel threatened.
The officer's response, "I might be a public servant, but I'm not your servant. I'm a police officer," comes across as arrogant and entitled. It goes against the basic principle of policing, which is to serve the public with professionalism and accountability. By distancing himself from the idea of public service, the officer appears to misunderstand the responsibility that comes with his position. The comment becomes even more concerning when viewed alongside the repeated pressure, intimidation, and refusal to respect the auditor's lawful rights throughout the encounter. His tone appears dismissive, confrontational, and driven by a sense of superiority. Rather than calmly addressing the situation, the officer seemed more focused on asserting authority than respecting the law and the rights of the individual involved. For the auditor, who had committed no offense, This behavior could reasonably increase feelings of harassment, alarm, and distress. Instead of de-escalating the situation, the officer's attitude only made the encounter more hostile and unnecessary.
What, you feel threatened?
Yeah, hence why I'm recording it, just in case anybody's trying anything cheeky.
That's fine.
I've had it before where police has thrown me on the floor for asking him, have you got ID?
So police officers thrown you on the floor?
Yeah.
And that's what I do.
I've asked for him.
I find that very strange.
Well, not all coppers are legitimate, are they? Not all coppers are nice. So at this moment in time, am I detained?
That's right.
What for? What am I being detained for? Have I committed a criminal offence? I've not committed a criminal offence. How can you detain me? Because then you're holding me hostage. You're now restricting my free way of movement, because now you're saying I'm being detained for a crime I've not committed. I will just literally. I'll send this to me my lawyer, mate. This is going straight to my lawyer.
First things first, we're recording it.
Yeah.
Has it just picked up the word that you just said to me?
Yeah.
Right. This is your first and last warning. You swear at me again, you'll be arrested. Do you understand me?
Yeah, but I'm asking why am I being detained?
Listen to me. Are you going to listen?
I'll listen, but I want you to listen to my point of view.
Detained at this moment in time.
Yeah.
So we can speak to the caller.
Yeah.
Because as I said, you fit the description of a person seen acting suspiciously.
Yeah.
Right? Now, until we speak to the caller and fathom out what the caller says to us, you're not going anywhere.
Right, so you're detaining me against my own will from a crime that I've not committed.
This appears to be a serious misuse of police powers. Detaining someone without clear lawful grounds simply because they match a vague description is not only poor policing, but also a potential violation of civil liberties. The officer openly states that the detention is based mainly on the report of a caller and suggests the auditor will remain detained until they figure things out. However, that is not how the law is meant to operate. Under UK law, including the Police and Criminal Evidence Act, PACE, officers must have reasonable and objective grounds for detention, not just a vague suspicion or an unverified report from a third party. Simply looking suspicious is not enough to justify restricting someone's freedom. Police powers must be based on clear legal standards, not assumptions or guesses. In this situation, the auditor appears to be treated as though he must prove his innocence, rather than officers first establishing lawful grounds for detention. That approach risks undermining the principle that individuals are innocent until proven guilty.
Are you going to admit that now on camera, that you're detaining me when I've not committed an offence?
Till we speak to the caller.
Yeah.
See exactly what the caller says you have or haven't done.
Right, but technically you can't detain someone if they've not committed a crime, because then that's holding them against their own will.
Well, once we speak to the caller,
yeah, but now
the crime has been committed, then I will tell you what's going to happen next.
So you're actually admitting you've illegally detained me for a crime I've not committed?
We haven't illegally detained you.
Well, if you've not detained me, then I'm free to go.
Tell you what, walk up there and we'll follow you then if we need to speak to you again.
But then it's harassing.
Off you go.
But then it's harassing.
It's not harassing.
No, what I'm saying is, if you'd like to leave,
right.
if you'd like to leave now and walk whichever way you like, carry on. And if I need to speak to you at a different time, I'll come after you and have a word with you.
This officer's response raises serious concerns about respect for lawful procedure and individual rights. Instead of addressing the auditor's concern about being unlawfully detained, the officer casually says, "How about you walk away and we'll follow you," as though that solves the issue. In reality, it only makes the situation more troubling. Following someone without clear legal justification, especially after they have clearly stated they want to be left alone, can reasonably be seen as intimidating and unnecessary. Rather than relying on lawful grounds in the moment, the officer appears to suggest monitoring the auditor in the hope of finding a reason to justify suspicion later. This creates the impression of policing through pressure and intimidation rather than clear legal authority. If officers do not have sufficient grounds to detain someone, continuing to shadow or monitor them without justification risks crossing the line into oppressive behavior. Police powers are meant to be exercised within clear legal limits, not based on vague suspicion or the possibility that something might happen later.
I'll just put a complaint in. I'll just put a complaint into IPCC.
That's fine. That's fine.
Because obviously you're legally detaining me for a crime I've not committed. So obviously, like I'm going to ask again, am I being detained for a crime? Because obviously now no one's answering. If I'm not being detained for a crime...
I'm just in the process of speaking to your manager.
Right.
If you'd like to walk away, you are free to walk away. And if that's detain us a crime, I will come after you, won't I? It's up to you, sir.
I'm not going to turn me back. I'm not going to turn me back on officers so you can body slam me.
Do what you'd like. I don't think we're capable of body slamming.
Hey, there's police out there that body slam people for the fun of it.
When he's asking for an officer's ID.
So you've illegally detained me. You call me a liar.
Accuse you of calling him a liar.
Yeah, but now you've also illegally detained me. So wait until IPC.
Why are we going around in circles? Twice I've said, if you'd like to walk away, walk away.
Well, just for the camera, have I been committed as a crime?
I haven't ascertained that at the moment.
Right, so I've not committed a crime, so... Well, you've given me permission to walk away. I'm not, mate. I'm not, mate. Now you're making lies about me. You've also illegally detained me, like I said before, when he says you're now detained. For what crime? He couldn't give me a crime. So he's legally detained me on the spot. He's also kept me hostage. So I do know my rights, and this will be going to IPCC. I will be sent it to my law. I'll wait until it's all over line. I don't need the log number. I've got your badge numbers. Because I don't trust it. I don't trust the fact I can walk away with you.
Had you shown us your ID in the first instance, I don't think it would have taken this long. So when you're talking about being...
Yeah, but I don't have to show my ID if I've not committed a crime or I'm on suspicion of crime. I've not committed a crime. I'm working.
The officers claim that the situation would not have escalated if the auditor had simply identified himself shows a troubling mindset. It unfairly shifts responsibility for the escalation onto the person exercising his legal rights rather than onto the officer's own actions. The auditor had not committed any offence, clearly explained that he was working, and calmly stated his legal position. Instead of respecting that, the officer treated the refusal to provide ID as though it were suspicious or problematic in itself. This suggests the issue became less about lawful policing and more about authority being challenged. Rather than reassessing whether they had proper legal grounds to continue the detention, the officers appeared to take the refusal personally and imply that the auditor was responsible for prolonging the encounter. That approach is concerning because it can lead to a culture where people are pressured into compliance, even when the law does not require it. In a lawful society, refusing a voluntary request should not automatically become a reason for detention, suspicion, or escalation.
Working's committing a crime, I'll just go and join benefits.
You could have ascertained your working 10 minutes ago and you could have gone on your way then, couldn't you? So
we'll have to go so we don't body
take the
slam.
log.
Sorry, don't body slam.
Before you get that urge.
Yeah. Okay. So, that's what I said. Free to go, Sam?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you to leave.
I took them to a criminal court and a civil court. At the criminal court, I was awarded £35,000 because of the incorrect ways and the way they did the jobs, which was performed illegally. Officer Stephen Haynes, PC Jarvis and PC Warwick. One of them was suspended for 2 months with further investigation. One of them was fired, and the other one was given a slap on the wrist and was allowed to still do the job, but under investigation by their own force.
The £35,000 compensation payout says a lot about the seriousness of what happened to Curnow and the conduct of the officers involved. This was not a minor mistake or simple misunderstanding. A payout of that size reflects serious concerns about how the situation was handled and the violation of individual rights. The fact that one officer was dismissed, another was suspended pending further investigation, and a third remained under internal review shows that the incident raised major professional and legal concerns. It suggests failures in both judgment and understanding of lawful policing procedures. From the beginning, the officers appeared to act on vague suspicion from a phone call rather than clear evidence of wrongdoing. Instead of approaching the situation calmly and professionally, they quickly focused on demanding identification without clearly explaining lawful grounds. When Curnow calmly asserted his rights, the encounter escalated unnecessarily. Comments made by the officers during the interaction also reflected a concerning attitude toward public accountability and civil liberties. Rather than respecting lawful refusal, some officers appeared to view non-compliance as a challenge to their authority. That approach risks turning policing into coercion rather than lawful public service. The attempts to justify the detention after the fact, including repeatedly relying on the caller's report, only strengthened concerns about poor procedure and misuse of police powers. The situation seemed driven more by control and persistence than by clear legal authority, and in the end, the consequences were significant, not only for the individuals involved, but also for public trust in policing. The case serves as a reminder of the importance of accountability, professionalism, and understanding the limits of police powers. It also highlights why knowing and calmly asserting your legal rights can matter during public interactions with authorities. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.